Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming.
Hey everyone.
We had a bit of a delay, but now we are back, and we are back with part 8 of Echo the Dolphin Sega CD.
Indeed, it took us long enough. I know I was not feeling well.
Yeah, and I know we recorded before when I was sick, but that's because we were both here.
Right.
And the reason we didn't do that this time because we weren't uh, here together,
Because
and yeah,
yeah, I was finishing up my hangout
yeah.
and I had gotten really, really sick.
Basically, he had no voice,
Yeah.
so
And my throat was hurting, like tonsil
yeah,
pain hurting.
yeah. So when you're sick and talking is painful, yeah, it wasn't gonna
Yeah.
work.
No, it was not gonna work at all.
And he didn't want to make me sick and my
Yeah,
mom sick, so yeah.
because the last time that happened, I was so emotionally devastated because you're the last person I want to get sick or spread it to.
Yeah, and that happened before to us, where you got sick and then I got sick, and
Yeah,
we both took a while to recover.
we did.
It was not fun. So yeah, thank you for your patience. We had that going on, and for a few weeks we had a guy here doing work on the trees where it
That's
was
true.
too noisy. And then, we had last weekend a convention. So yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, it just got to the point where I'm like, I'm sorry, the rest of me will be on hiatus. And we had to bump some episodes to June, and it drove me nuts, but here we are.
that's true.
But we'll get back on track. Initially, I was worried we'd have to delay June as well, but I don't think that's the case. So
Yeah, just fighting
now
these.
I hope the music's working because we have it down low, so I can't tell if it's working or not. But it seems like with the Sega CD, we have a little trouble with the chords sometimes.
Right, I try to get that down pat for us because,
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's just a case of we have it down so low that I don't even hear the little bit of music.
right.
I hope so.
So this was the thing that I was mildly hinting
It's more stuff from the prototype for Tides of Time. Funny.
at. So now I'm really starting to wonder if this was actually the complete game.
Yeah, I'm thinking so since as far as I know, the only prototype of Echo the Dolphin that was found was the prototype of the Japanese version, at least, based on the timestamp of it. I think it's the prototype of the Japanese version. Uh, for all we know, yeah, this could have been how they intended the game to be. Because I already know they couldn't put all the music that they wanted on it because of limited cartridge space. Um,
Right.
so it could be that, yeah, this is what they intended the original game to be, and they had to cut the extra levels that are short, and they're like, well, it doesn't really impact it too much, which are the levels we're in now. Um, which I think this is the last of, by the way.
Right.
I think I think after this we get back to levels we all know from the Genesis and or Mega Drive
Right.
version, depending on your region.
That's true. That's this a little, and then because that's the one other thing I had to remind myself, and I think this is the gist of why that guy was having trouble was because you
Huh.
need to fill this guy up with air, and you need this guy full of air. So, and I just screwed up. So that way you can get back up to get the fourth backtrack.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, they always came up with such interesting puzzle dynamics in Echo the Dolphin.
They did.
And that's why I feel like a lot of people didn't give Echo a fair shot.
It seems that, unfortunately.
Hence why I get angry when a very viral YouTuber gives it a bad
Yes.
review, because I'm like, you have a lot of followers, you have a lot of influence.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with another viral YouTuber who did that with Eiffel 65.
Yes. And I can only go further because I'm still reminded of that other viral YouTuber before both of those two who made terrible jokes about Defender of the Future.
Oh yeah, guy who I don't think was actually that viral at the end of the day.
Right.
But had a big ego, so you wouldn't have known.
Yeah. And he legit pissed me off.
Yes.
His takes on Defender of the Future because he went there.
Yeah, something that was a bad habit of like old YouTubers is they would get offensive and go too far at the drop of the hat.
Yeah.
And a problem that I can allude to because this other viral YouTuber also kind of did it, is basically they were taking out their frustration on the Echo the Dolphin game, and basically dunking on dolphins.
Yeah. If you.
Yeah.
Just.
I know.
The thing that they were having trouble with.
Yeah.
Was.
And I'm gonna have my snack, so forgive the crinkling.
I forgive the crinkling. If you break that barrel, then you can't use it because, as you saw earlier, you need that barrel to get up that spot that was pushing you down.
Weird. Yes. This bar tastes weird.
It tastes weird?
Yeah, but it's edible, so it's okay.
Well, that's good. Is it as weird as caramel flavored coffee?
There are a lot of people that like that, but no.
I know,
I don't know. I actually haven't had that because I can't really do coffee.
Oh, right. I forgot.
That's okay. I can do a certain amount of caffeine, but once it gets to the amount that's in coffee, I get very shaky. So yeah.
Right. Gotta go fast. Almost had it the last time. Frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to swimming this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get the pool set up?
We're almost finished.
Oh, good.
It's the everything else part about getting the pool set up that can be the challenge.
Yeah. And we'll have to balance it with our recording schedule. And we do, I think, if we want to go to it, there's a 1-day event next weekend.
That is true. I almost forgot about that 1-day event that's happening next weekend.
Yeah. And then at the end of the month is Too Many Games, which we're talking about going to.
Yes.
I think July will be quiet in terms of events. You and I will probably still come up with fun stuff to do because you'll be staying over in July.
Yeah.
But in terms of cons, I think it'll be quiet.
Probably. I think so.
and we'll have about 2 months to try to. Well, I won't necessarily be working, but you'll be working, so you can get your funds back up.
Yeah, I usually do, and that's my life goal.
I'll probably try to see if I can't get some voice acting work. I can hope, or something. I could try to come up with something to get a little dough.
I'm sure. So, I've got confidence in you about it.
Thanks. Yeah, and then we have about 2 months before another convention if we decide to go to that one.
Yeah.
And then the month after that, another convention. That is one we usually go to.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to get out and have a good time.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
It was your idea, and so far it's been pretty good, I think.
Yeah, the cons have ended up being a really good place to get games on our game list.
Yeah, and your other idea about the list is a great one too.
Yeah, and of course, while we're waiting, we could still, go to our normal
Of course.
video game stores nearby.
Of course. We're not going to miss those guys.
No. They'll be like, hey, haven't seen you in a while if we wait too long.
Yeah, exactly. We got to keep the brick and mortars going,
Yeah. But, yeah, it was a really good convention.
Yeah.
All of the panels we went to were good except for one. We made it. So now we're back to levels you'll be familiar with.
Gotcha. You might want to snap a picture.
Yeah. Not of me. That's not a picture I want.
Okay, bud.
Picture of me holding the protein bar in my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you guys need to see that.
True. I'm sadly reminded of. That was awesome though, getting to hear. I'm sadly reminded of that notorious picture of Ami from Sailor Moon.
Oh, with the burger in her mouth. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so sad.
So do I.
Oh.
Like, if I remember who it was correctly, why does Usagi have a picture of Ami with a burger in her mouth in her collection?
I don't know. There are some people who, well, I know it's not I think the really popular ship is Ami and Mako,
Right.
Makoto. But there are some people who theorize that Usagi has a crush on Ami when they first meet.
I can kind of see it.
And so it could be that since she likes food, even if they're just platonic, maybe she got excited at the prospect of, oh, see, she can relax and enjoy food too, like me, and took a picture. But I don't know.
Right. Much to Ami's embarrassment because she did not want. She found it socially weird that Usagi, of all people, would take a picture of her mid-bite.
Yeah. Especially given with Japanese culture, having a big appetite is considered a weird thing.
Right.
If you ever wondered why in a lot of anime they act weird when there is a character who eats a lot, that's why. And I didn't know that, but one of my Japanese tutors explained that to me. Because she wanted me to understand why a character in CCS made her uncomfortable. And she explained that it's pretty normal for Japanese people to be uncomfortable when somebody's eating a lot of food, especially like eating
Right.
a lot of food in one sitting, especially makes them uncomfortable.
Yes. I'm sadly reminded of a quote that I heard because I watched something about Okinawa, and there's a philosophy and mindset of only eating 80% of the plate,
Yeah.
which wouldn't surprise me if the rest of Japan does that too.
Yes. There is. Yeah. A lot of the non-fad diet advice, people like to turn to the Okinawan
Right.
philosophy of
That's
80-20.
surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you look at the normal amount you have on your plate and you eat 80% of that. You leave out 20% of that plate because we tend to think we need more food than we need.
Right.
So we will, you know, load up our plate and we'll eat all of it because, you're taught don't leave food behind.
Right.
Um,
And the best way not to eat food behind is to only proportion that plate so that you
yeah,
finish your plate. Uh,
yeah. And I feel like a lot of the more fad diets, and even the ones that aren't fads, like Weight Watchers, I don't feel bad name dropping them at all. Uh,
that's okay.
they they make these tiny food portion sizes, and I'm like, of course you're not going to keep up with that because people feel like they're starving because they're like, here's what you eat, and you have like this little tiny plate of food, and I'm like, people will go hungry.
Right.
Um, there are other reasons I don't like Weight Watchers, but I won't get into it.
Yeah,
um,
I understand.
but yeah, like, and I'm familiar with the portion sizes because somebody, I think they've changed, but like
That is true.
back when they had their own food and they sent it all to you, I
Uh-huh.
had a family member that tried that, so I
Oh,
saw what their portions were like, and I was like, this is food for a bird. I felt like
uh,
it's not quite that bad, but I'm like,
yeah, that is true. I also had family who did the Weight Watchers, but I think they would try to try to do it without their getting it from them, but rather
mm,
making it themselves. And
and just following the rules that they set up.
I
Mm.
think so.
Yeah, that's the cheaper way to do it
Yeah. Access granted.
because you don't have to like pay for their subscription where they send you
True.
food every month or whatever. I don't know exactly how it works. Let me know in the comments, and if you've had success with Weight Watchers and
Oh
you
yeah,
think I'm full of it, let me know.
please do.
Um, I am. Just be respectful about it. I'm open to a discussion if you're respectful.
Of course. Not if you're a jerk.
That's the other thing. The people at this convention were really friendly and
Yeah.
nice and made you feel happy to be in fandom space. Because
Yeah.
you guys know there are some places, I won't be naming them. I will try really hard not to name drop this time. I know sometimes I mess up. Um, where the people who go to the convention just aren't friendly.
Mm-hmm.
They're just sometimes it's a lack of maturity,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the current nature of things where people are less caring now or
Yeah.
whatever.
Some people who never were caring in the first place. We watched one of those presentations
Yeah.
late at night. Something that should not be considered 18 plus.
I honestly think, yeah, I can talk. I guess I'll talk about that panel since it's kind of interesting talk, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like one of two things happened. This guy is either very sheltered, and to him that stuff is 18 plus,
Yeah.
or he just labeled it 18 and up to make it sound edgier, and because he was playing it up, he's like, I'm surprised they even allowed this here. And I'm like, okay, so the only kind of I think I can say this word, the only kind of nudity that was present
Yep.
was censored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have, when it's censored like that, you can see that on PG-13 rated stuff.
Yep.
There was no cussing that I had heard.
Yeah, it was pretty much all in Japanese.
Uh, yeah, and I know some Japanese, obviously, so I didn't hear
Right.
any Japanese cussing.
Yeah.
Um,
You're one of the guys I turn to make sure.
yeah, and I mean, sometimes I'm a little unsure because sometimes I think we translate stuff that's not cussing as cussing.
Oh yeah, we do that all the time.
And I think Japan in general, there are like kind of like different levels of cuss words, and like words that are like big bads for us aren't necessarily for them, especially if it's in English. That's why you'll hear Sonic the Hedgehog say the S word uh, in
Yeah.
English, in the Japanese version, and it's not a big deal. Like they did it in the TV broadcast, the Sonic X. So, and you're
Yeah.
like, what? Why would you let Sonic say that? It's because that word's not as big of a deal.
Correct.
But there are other words that are more the equivalent of the F word that you will never hear on a TV broadcast.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just that kind of thing. But I didn't hear anything like that. I mean, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, perhaps he thought of like the Japanese equivalent of the Silent Library, which I don't know its Japanese name.
Which I thought that was its Japanese name.
Oh, that is the Japanese name. Okay. Well, he showed some clips from that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but even that, even though I think the show is morally wrong, that's just how I feel. Um, the I wouldn't consider that 18 and up, even though I do consider it abuse.
Yes.
But it is again a little bit of a cultural difference. I feel like,
Yeah.
whereas where like that's kind of a thing that they do when, like in some religious ceremonies, if you're not disciplined, like your mind is wandering, or you're not focused, they will, and in this case, they'll do it very lightly. They will hit you um, to get you back into focus. And
You mean like that?
I've done this. I've experienced this. This with the meditation where you have to stay still and silent.
Yeah.
And if your mind is wandering, if they notice, they will. So it's more like a tap, like a firm tap than a hitting. To be fair,
Yeah.
because I've experienced it. Where either if he notices it, he'll do it, or but you're also expected. If your mind is wandering, you have to say something.
Right.
Uh, so I know that that's kind of a cultural thing, but I also there's no way they were being gentle in that show.
No.
No. It was to cause pain. Um, so I don't know if he was thinking that, violence, 18 and up for violence, but I'm like, that that stuff was probably rated PG-13 on MTV, the American equivalent, where they were physically harming the
Right.
people
My
too.
issue with the Americanized version of that show was it took the humor out of,
Yeah,
because the gist of the humor, as I understood it, was they do this abusive, stupid crap,
yeah,
and they're trying not to get the ire of the librarian,
yeah,
because if they did, uh, or, then they would have been told to get out of the library
right,
and kicked out, all of them,
right,
if they all failed,
right,
and that would have been the end of the game.
right,
Whereas in the US version, the guy who was the host of USA Silent Library was also playing the role of librarian,
right,
and they did the stupid crap, but the goal in the USA version was not to hit a certain volume,
right.
and they got a cash prize determining on how quiet they were able to do such stupid crap.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, they were in on it.
where the Japanese version, it's again, I feel more about discipline than we're being quiet for a cash prize.
Right.
It was,
It takes it away if it's a fake library and
yeah,
the guy is the host and you're doing it for the laughs. You're abusing each other for the laughs, not
yes, yeah,
seeing how far you can get away with in the library.
yeah. So the American version I hated much more because it literally was, uh, you know, how much abuse can you
I
deal
felt like I
with?
was watching
Yeah,
Fear Factor on
right.
the USA version. Or,
Yeah, and the puns just weren't as funny in the American version because
right.
the Japanese version is, poking fun at the words. It's a play on the cards have plays on Japanese words for
Right.
the cue cards, but
Yeah. Which the thing that we saw was a special occasion because they had a foreign player, they had to do
mhm.
in Japanese and English.
Yeah,
So
right. Because I forget. I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy on other Japanese shows. I think he's I have forgive me, I don't know where, but I know he's from an African country.
oh yeah, I think he's a boxer from a
Um,
English-speaking African country.
yeah, because I don't believe he's American. Because I saw him on another show, and it was actually like a talk show, so that's why I like vaguely recalled that he mentioned a country name, but I'm not that up on
Yeah,
all of Africa country names
it
in
wasn't that
Japanese,
guy from
so
that episode of what was that show? You showed me an episode of.
hey, hey, hey.
Hey, yeah, that's it. That's it.
No, because they do music guests on Hey Hey Hey.
Right. Because yeah, I remember an episode of Hey. Well, I thought it was Hey, or at least the two guys from it where.
Oh, they were on this talk show, but it wasn't Hey Hey Hey.
Right. Where he was struggling at saying CD.
Oh, I don't remember if it was that one, but it
Yeah,
could be.
because like he was trying to say something like I had bought their CD, but he kept mixing that and DVD, so it would be DCCD.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
um, eventually it was a bit where, well, even though one of them was the silly guy and the other guy was the straight guy,
Yeah.
both of them were the straight guy in this
Uh huh.
interview.
Yeah. And then they're both like, oh, "Come on, man, you can't say that word.
Yeah,
You pull yourself together."
pretty much.
Yeah. Uh, And that's part of the humor, they're like, pull yourself together, it's embarrassing. And they don't mean it for real. They're,
Right.
It's part of the act.
Right. They want to talk considering they, like I pointed out, one's the straight man and one's the silly one.
Yeah, and it's very Osaka and Kansai area humor.
Yeah.
Where one of them just is the one's really an idiot, no common sense type of guy. And he'll just say stupid stuff or, something that, would be embarrassing for the straight guy. The straight guy has to hit him upside the head, the straight man. And
pretty much.
like, no, you idiot, type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they're a comedic duo known as Downtown, and they're like everywhere on Japanese TV. They originally were radio hosts, and
True.
I guess got a TV show at some point. Yeah, the other one where they were in the classroom was a little bit better, but I still didn't like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to take a picture of this?
Yeah, and we'll probably stop here for now because it's 30 minutes. So thank you guys for coming. We will see you next time. Bye.
Yep. Take a photo and good.
Take another one in case that one gets blotted out. Okay, bye.